It's been almost a year since I moved to Ottawa, the capital city of Canada. And this was the first year in a while, that I got the taste of city life. Okay, because the year before I lived in this area in the city of Hamilton called Dundas, which is a little heaven. I don't know what the hell got into my mind and I left it. I'm still baffled. Okay, I'm really still baffled by the decision. Anyway, that's beside the point. The year before I lived in basically like a sanctuary, a nature sanctuary, and for you guys who have been following this channel ever since I started it, you remember all my videos were somewhere out in some beautiful Lord of the Rings like scenery. So, that one year I sort of really was very blissful, it was a very blissful year. This year's been rough. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It's been rough. The year before was just pure bliss. It was just pure bliss. And even the years before, although I did live on a main street, but I literally crossed the main street, and the street is called Main Street, by the way. I crossed the main street and I'm in this very nice student area called Westdale. Anybody who knows Hamilton, it's a very lovely, pleasant area. 7-minute walk from my apartment, which I lived in pretty much for 8 years. I would be in the middle of beauty. Okay, Coots Paradise. It's called Coots Paradise because it is a paradise. So for me, this was the first year in a long time, because I grew up in Doha, very much in the middle of noise and pollution, and Doha is like the most polluted city in the world, or top 5. So, I did grow up there, but this has been the first year for me in a long time that I really got the taste of city life. Okay, definitely in my adult life, this was the first year that I really experienced it pretty much on a visceral level, because I drove Uber for 6 months. Okay, so I was driving people in the city. We live on a main street. I don't even open the windows at night because it's so loud. I don't even though it's hot now, I just turn on the fan. I don't open the windows because it's just so loud. I can't even sleep. So I live on a main street. It's really super cold here, for most of the year. And I really got the taste of city life. Okay, I'm in the middle of it, on a very noisy, loud street. Like I said, I don't even open the windows at night because it's still loud even at 12 a.m. So now I'm supposed to be a sage. I'm supposed to bring in my sage qualities and say, well, I'm so grateful for the experience. It has taught me a lot. It has shown me contrast, right? Bullshit. That would be inauthentic of me, because I thought this year sucked. Okay, and if there is a lesson that I learned, is never again. If there is a lesson that I learned from this city, it isn't that, oh, thank you for the contrast, blah blah, which is true. I'm just playing here. It's true. The contrast is important. But what has the contrast taught me? Never again. Never again. Never again, folks. That's it. 1 year traumatized me. I've had enough. That's it. I'm not living in a city anymore. Not in the heart of it anyway. Okay, and from now on, all the locations that I'll be picking are going to be hand-picked with the prerequisite of it has to be beautiful. So there's a lot of nature, peaceful and quiet. That's a prerequisite. Otherwise, I'll just travel out of my body and leave the dimension altogether. I don't have to be here. That's the truth is, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Because the law of creation is desire creates the universe. If you don't desire something, you're creating that which you don't desire. Oh, I don't like living in cities, right? You're creating it. So what's your desire? Focus on that, which is, I want to be somewhere peaceful and quiet. And you don't have to be somewhere noisy. You don't have to be somewhere polluted. You don't have to be somewhere with a lot of negative energy. Okay, the truth is, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, folks. This is the law of creation. Desire creates the universe. Use your desire to create your universe. If you desire to live somewhere quiet, somewhere peaceful, don't put up a front and say, oh, this is good, or this is teaching me lessons, or It is teaching you lessons. Everything's teaching you lessons. But perhaps the lesson is, why do we even do this? Like, this doesn't make sense. You know, the construct of a city doesn't even make sense. Everything we do in it doesn't make sense. The way we get our food in the grocery stores doesn't make sense. You know, it's like, you don't blind yourself. If the lesson's teaching you something, it's teaching you, well, this is how not to live life. Okay? And you know, it's very easy to see, because, you know, city people are very, you know, they tend to be, you know, miserable. I don't know what the other word I will use here is, miserable. But you know, I experienced the contrast. You know, you might say you're biased, but I mean, look, I try to be as objective as I can. This year compared to the year before, where I lived in a sanctuary, I'll tell you something, the people that lived in that area, oh, mwah, oh, sweethearts. Everybody's a sweetheart. Almost without exception. It makes sense. If you have a lot of trees around you and a lot of peace and calmness and quietness, that forms a certain mass consciousness. And that affects everybody in the area. Because I remember when I moved to the area, the Dandas, right? The sanctuary, I stopped having any bad dreams or any dreams where I'm struggling. It was all like blissful and peaceful because of the mass consciousness. And every time my friends came and visited me in Dandas, as soon as they got there, they were like, something, the air, which is fresher because of all the trees. And suddenly, like within 10 minutes of being there, my friends would be like, whoa, like, you know, when you get the energy of a place, and it affects everybody living within the vicinity, right? And I'll tell you something, you know, yeah, like your environment shapes you to a great extent. So yeah, again, I'm not going to be inauthentic here and say, oh, you know, contrast is good. It is good, you know that. I talk about contrast all the time. And it just taught me how not to live. It taught me that this isn't the way I want to create my universe. So it's been exactly a year. That's why I thought, you know, I'll reflect on it. Exactly a year, day for day. It's been a year since I've been here. And I've only got, I've only got less than a month, because me and my brother were moving in August to his new place, which is in a sanctuary. So you know, that's good. So I just have to basically get through the next few weeks, because really I just want to leave. I really just want to leave. Okay, I really do. The environment, it affects you. Affects you big time, folks. Be very mindful of the environment you choose to live in. Okay, because it forms your habits. You know, like I got this habit now where, you know, I've kind of struggled with food binges over the last year, something I didn't struggle with as much the year before, simply because I'm in the middle of a city. There's so many convenience stores and grocery stores around that, you know, whenever I'm bored or it's too cold, I'll just step outside the house and go get a snack or something. I'll go back home, I'll feel frustrated, then 2-3 hours later, I'll go get another snack or something. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of became this habit also, because it'll create your habits. The area I lived in the year before, there was like one convenience store, okay? So like, because it was just like, again, it was isolated, it was sort of on the outskirts. So I would actually even do my groceries once every 5-6 days, because the place was a little far, you see? So that wasn't on my mind. Whereas I'm in the middle of the city, again, that's gonna create your habits. The people you interact with every day, the cashiers, the people you see, you start to see people every day, right? And yeah, if the people's awareness in that area is limited, or if they're in a lower vibration, which that will happen when you live in a city, yeah, it's gonna affect you. It's gonna drain your energy. It's gonna absolutely drain your energy. Okay, so yeah, I learned my lesson in this 1 year. It's been frustrating. I'm not gonna put a front. It's been frustrating. This last 12 months, they've been my least favorite 12 months in the last 5 years or so. They really have. They really have. You know, I'm not going to lie here. But the experience taught me how to live as a human being, to live in harmony with nature. Again, now looking at it from this perspective, I can't believe I left that area before. I can't believe. It's like now in this, I'm like, what were you doing? Like, what were you thinking? You know, like, why did you even leave in the first place? You know, it's like, what? I guess, you know, my path led me here to learn this, but now it's like I'm going way the other way again. But that's it. The lesson's been learned, folks. Live in harmony with the Tao. Live in harmony with nature. Peaceful and quietness is the way of the way. It's the way of the Tao. Okay? And in many ways, you could say that a city is evil. What do I mean by evil? Again, when I say these Satan, evil, all these things, don't go too far into your judgmental mind, okay? Just bear with me and follow the metaphor. Look at the word evil. The word evil is life spelled backwards. So all evil is lack of life and death, basically. Well, death is not evil. Okay, death itself is not evil, but evil is any attempt to suppress life. There you go. Because death is a natural progression of life, but you attempting intentionally, on purpose, like the elites do, to suppress life, that's evil. Okay, that again, it's all in the language. Just pay attention to the language. Okay, life spelled backward is evil. Live, evil, that's spelled backwards. Okay, death itself is a natural progression. Death and life are both two sides of the same coin. Okay, but so when death happens naturally, then we say it's a natural death. Oh, there's forest fires, they happen naturally. The trees had to die, the new ones have to grow. Oh, a human being aged and they died of natural causes, right? And there seems to be a sort of like, okay, it's the way of things. But it's another thing when you try to kill on purpose, you're trying to suppress life. And so that's the word evil. Evil is suppression, intentional suppression of life. Okay? So, look at the word evil. It's live spelled backwards. And so when I say cities are evil, because everything in deliberately, by the way, this is deliberately by the elites, the reptilians, and the archons and all that shit, okay? I mean, this has been going on for thousands of years. The city-state, the way it's designed, the society, the modern society, is deliberately designed by these beings, by these entities, okay? That are, again, they've got many names going around. They're deliberately designed to suppress life. So when you look at a city, let's take a look at food. Most human beings, they derive, and I say most because you guys know there's human beings that don't need food, that actually have way more energy than human beings that eat. But let's say, 99% of human beings, they need food to survive and thrive, okay? Let's just say that. Look at the food you eat when you're in a city. You go get it, it's already, it's either dead, like most foods, cooked and processed and all of that, or even the fruits. You're getting these fruits that are shipped from God knows where, unless you live somewhere where the fruits are grown locally. But I live somewhere where the fruits are shipped from God knows where. Okay, so even the fruits are like, there's life force in it, but it's waning, it's fading. Okay, but pretty much most foods you get here in grocery stores are dead. So you're eating dead foods. It's not life, it's dead. So it starts with the food. The way the society, the way the city is designed, the way you're programmed to get your sustenance, you're getting dead sustenance mostly. Okay, so you see again the word evil, which is live spelled backwards. So you see that everything in a city, you're disconnected from the elements. Like for example, you gotta wear clothes. Essentially, that's suppressing life to come through your body. I mean, if you're a woman, you still can't go shirtless. I mean, look, there's a male nipple right there, okay? It's pretty much not that different from appearance to a female nipple. I mean, I don't see the big deal. But for the most part, even in advanced countries, a woman can't be topless. Therefore, you're suppressing the breasts, which are life-giving. A woman's breast, you're suppressing that to get energy, to get life from the sun and the elements and the air. Okay? I mean, same thing with our genitals. So again, suppression of life. You see what I'm saying? Everything in a city this is deliberate. This is deliberate, folks. Okay, this is deliberate by the powers, the elites, the archons, reptilians, whatever you want to call them. Okay, that's all deliberate. Like it's still because they're basically into suppression of life. There's no empathy, no compassion. Sometimes I question: are they just really backward souls? Devolved, or are they even AI? They're not even souls. I don't know. Probably just really very devolved souls, most likely, who have just strained away from the light completely. So yeah, that's why I say it sucked. not gonna put a front here and say, oh, it taught me a lot and this and that. Yeah, everything is a lesson, of course. But it just sucked because I felt like life got drained by me. Compared this last 12 months to the 12 months before, where I was living in a nature sanctuary, essentially. Huge difference. Huge difference. I peaked. My energy in those days peaked. There was a period where my energy peaked. I was just closing my eyes and traveling out of my body because I was so high. Literally, I would just sit there. I would go into nature, just sit there, close my eyes, and I'd just start flying out of my body because I was so high all the time. It was like a constant high because of the environment that I lived in, and the quietness and the peace and the beauty and the benevolence of the trees and everything around me. Compared to this year, I mean, I devolved in that sense in many ways, but I evolved in other ways. So I learned, never again. I'm just not living in a city anymore. Why should I? You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. That, don't be fooled into thinking you have to do something, and then all this, you read these motivational quotes, blah blah blah. No, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You really don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You might have to do it for a little while. Okay, you might have to do it for a little while, right? Like you're in a situation, you need to raise a kid right now. You might need to be with the kid for 3-4 more years. Okay, all right, this is one of those situations where you've got to hang out for 3-4 years. But you don't have to keep doing this forever. You could start planning right now. What do you want to do after? Your kid's grown up, they're on their own, whatever. You do something now. But you don't have to do something that you're doing that you don't want to do. Live somewhere you don't want to live for the rest of your life. Work with your circumstances. I'm not saying leave everything and not be responsible for your immediate life. You're in a certain situation. It's in the present moment. For example, I couldn't just leave in the middle of it, leave my brother hanging there because we shared the house, shared the rent. So I had to stick it out the whole year because halfway through I realized I made a mistake. But I have to stick it through the whole year. And now it's done. This is basically, we paid the last month's rent and I could leave. I'm actually leaving in 2 days. I'm going to my old city, to the area. I'm gonna spend the rest of July there, and then come back here in August. We're moving to a really beautiful place. But that's it. I pay my dues. Is my responsibility is over. I don't want to do this. I don't have to do it anymore. Same thing with you. I don't know what your situation in life is. You might have a kid. Need to be here for them for another 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Who knows? Or you've got to finish your school, you've got 2 more years. Okay, fine, you do that, you finish that. But already implement a plan and start working towards it. Because, if, again, just there's no point in complaining about anything unless you got a solution for it already. You see? So yeah, this year in conclusion, the moral of the story, this last 12 months sucked. But yeah, it is what it is. And I'm grateful, obviously, for the contrast, because now it's like, my appreciation now, even for this, new life that I'm about to embark in, this digital nomad, going to islands and mountains and jungles, etc., living in those types of areas. It's really, I've going to gain a lot of appreciation for it. Because I would have to just simply close my eyes, remember the not so good feelings of living in the city, especially this year, and then that would actually increase my appreciation overall, and that would inspire me to continue working alongside with the folks that are working on uplifting the vibration and helping Mother Gaia. Because ultimately, that's what I keep hearing, that I'm here to for Mother Gaia, really. I really love the planet. I really love the planet. I really, really love the planet. I really love the Earth. Very benevolent, very beautiful planet. Very conscious, very beautiful. I really love the Earth. So ultimately, that rant, the whole rant about the city, and really just, I'm not gonna put a front and say there's good parts about living in a city, because there isn't. There really isn't. There really isn't. And for me, there isn't. Okay. There is a gym. You can go to the gym. Well, why would I even need to go to the gym? I do pull-ups on the tree. Why do I need to go to the gym? Oh, you go to your groceries. Well, You know, I'm trying to be a breatharian anyway, so I don't want to be around places where it's like there's so much food everywhere and temptations. You see what I'm saying? So actually, for me, as far as I'm concerned, no, there isn't anything good about living in a city. I'm not gonna put a front here and pretend, okay? No, but that's again that fuels me or inspires me even more to work with the planet and really, you know, work to you know, to bring, we gotta go, like Wim Hof says, we gotta go back to nature, right? That's kind of my message moving forward. We gotta get back to nature because yeah, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. Otherwise, again, because it's evil, you're gonna keep sucking your life away from you, giving you dead foods. You're gonna be eating dead foods. You're gonna be dead, covered with clothes and covered with stuff and sunscreen and this and that and advertisements and media and TV. Yeah. So that doesn't lead you anywhere pleasant. Okay. So yeah, that was the rant. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and thank you to all the Patreons for supporting this channel. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Love you guys. Love you, every single one of you. If you want to join the family, you could do so with as little as $2 a month, right? Like, you know, that doesn't sound like a bad idea to support this community. You know, just if, only if you got off your lazy ass and got out your credit card right now. Take you 5 minutes and be like, okay, here's $2, Saeed. You know, your videos help. You know, you seem like a decent guy. You know, you don't seem like too bad of a guy. And you know, here's my money. Here's $2 a month. You could do that right now, or you could do a one-time thing. If you're not into the monthly, you could do one-time donation on PayPal. Okay, so the links for the Patreon, the donation link is in the description. Love you guys. We'll keep doing this. I'm really excited for the upcoming times, for for the upcoming times. Because one thing I miss here is the peace and quietness. I could never get it anywhere. You know, I could never get it anywhere here. No matter where I go, even here. You know, even here, there's still a lot of things. You know, I can never get it. Not like last year. Last year I got it all the time. I took it for granted, and because I took it for granted, I wanted to move somewhere else. Can't take that for granted no more. If there is a lesson I learned from this, can't take beauty and calmness and peacefulness and quietness and bliss. I can't take that for granted no more. I gotta give it appreciation every single day. If I was appreciative at the time, I never would have decided to move. I never would have decided that I need a new adventure. Okay, so yeah, that's actually my lesson here is appreciation. Just appreciation for nature, appreciation for quietness and calmness and aloneness. I love aloneness. I love the aloneness because you're alone. You know, the one consciousness is alone. And I just, again, it's very difficult to get this here when all the time, no matter where you go, chaos. Love you guys. Until next time, may the force be with you.